Emily is exhausted physically, mentally, and emotionally. She falls asleep with her head on her mother's breast and at her mother's side. When Emily wakes, she finds the cat staring into her eyes. It brings her so much joy and a sense of calm to wake and see those charming black lunar eyes. As Emily prepares to get up and gather herself, she notices something especially calming and hopeful at the start of the day. Though strange and likely inexplicable, her mother's hand is on her head. How is this possible? Did one of the nurses come in during the night and attempt to comfort me by placing Mom's hand on me as I laid next to her? Emily chooses not to think ill. She suppresses the notion of the nursing staff trying to comfort her by concocting a loving gesture from her mom, which would clearly be well outside the bounds of appropriate behavior for a medical professional. Instead, Emily chooses to enjoy the thought that her mother is not relegated to a life of perpetual mental and physical inactivity. Emily chooses to embrace the possibility that Grace loves her enough to move her hand on her own will, showing that she will continue to fight and recover. What matters most to Emily is she wakes with greater clarity and hope. Emily leaves her mother's room with the plan to see her daughter and son. She walks past the nurse's station to the elevator, then presses the button and waits for its arrival. Within minutes, Emily enters and then exits the elevator onto the corridor where the large windows where the babies are, the NICU. Emily's heartbeat grows strong. It is not painful, but definitely stronger than normal. Emily is not frightened, however, by the drum and increased rhythm in her chest. She's just keenly aware of it. It is as if her adult heart is beating in time with the baby's heart. That makes Emily feel very happy. Emily looks over at her child lovingly. While the baby has opened her eyes a time or two and made all the staff fall in love with her, Emily has never seen her eyes. The baby shifts her head forward and looks straight ahead, not in the direct view of her mom, who is at an angle looking through the glass. The angle of the baby's head is sufficient enough so that Emily sees her eyes for the first time. Emily's hand slowly rises from her side to her face. A feeling she has grown oh so familiar with over the past 3 weeks resurfaces again. While her eyes are sore from crying, she welcomes these tears. The baby closes her eyes and cooes. Female nurse comes in to feed the baby. Before feeding her, the nurse holds up the baby at an angle so Emily can fully see her. The nurse smiles and points to the empty name tape. Emily does not yet know what to name her. Emily prepares herself to leave. It is time to see her little archaeologist. It's time to see her son. Donna was laid to rest in the family cemetery. Emily presses a kiss on the window. Her heart skips a beat and she heads to the parking garage to jump back into her mother's car to go visit her son. As Emily walked toward the car, a guy who was wandering through the parking garage approached her. Initially, one would think this guy locked himself out of his car or could not recall which floor he had parked on. He appeared lost, agitated, and slightly distressed. Before Emily arrived, he had tried to open several car doors. It became more apparent to anyone who was paying attention that he was up to no good. Most of the parking garage patrons, however, were in a hurry to enter the hospital, so they paid little attention for their various and urgent reasons. Most were not in the immediate vicinity of the guy to be of any assistance to him, or for him to ask them for help. The guy raised a scarf over his face and walked toward Emily as she lowered her head to find her keys, which was somewhere at the bottom of her purse. As she rummaged through her bag to find her keys to open the car door, the man walked even closer. In the light of day, this guy made up in his mind to rob her. The cat, who was at her side the entire time, hissed. Emily turned around quickly and found herself standing face to face with the mugger. The guy had his knife pointed at her. All Emily could think about was that she must see Donald. She must see her son. In the very moment their eyes met, the mugger was captivated by how intensely brown they glowed and just how beautiful they were. What he intended to say first was spoken aloud second. What he felt in the moment was said first. You have beautiful eyes. Ma'am, give me your purse and your keys. If you scream or hesitate, I'll fillet you. So don't move or scream and you won't get hurt. Got it? I want to see your face. Without a second thought or hesitation, he removed the handkerchief. Look into my eyes. See my hurt. Do you see it? Do you see my pain? I want you to feel my pain. Do you have a son or a daughter? Yes, I see it. Yes, I have a daughter. Tell her Daddy accidentally cut 3 fingers off while being irresponsible at work. The mugger reached into his pocket, pulled out his phone, and called home. Honey, don't be alarmed. Daddy is fine. It was just an accident. Remove those 3 fingers and walk into the emergency unit for care. You have lost 3 fingers for the 3 people I care about that are either dead or trying to survive. Consider yourself lucky. Without missing a beat, Emily turned around, entered the car, and let the cat jump into her lap. The cat then moved over to the passenger seat. As she drove away, the mugger proceeded to remove his fingers one by one. He yelled in gut-wrenching pain. He then walked to the ER as instructed with 3 of his fingers in his alternate hand. He passed out into the staff's arm. Emily was not altogether sure what just occurred. She was afraid, but she also felt powerful. She somehow controlled the guy's actions. Thoughts were swirling through her head as she drove out of the parking garage and headed to the family plot. Once there, Emily wasted no time to find the freshly packed mound and recently placed headstone. The cat did not follow her so closely, and Emily wondered why. She really needed the cat's strength in this moment. Emily knelt down, kissed her right hand's fingertips, and placed them on the tombstone, which read, "To our favorite archaeologists, love Dad and Mom, June 2003 to October 2015. A snake, very similar to the one in Portland, appeared near the tombstone. The cat saw the snake and attempted to intervene, but Emily raised her hand, signaling for him not to intervene. She was not afraid. She slightly pushed the cat to the side and reached for the snake. The snake postured as if to warn Emily that it was prepared to and would strike. Emily grabbed the snake by the neck firmly and brought it to her. "Hear me, and hear me well. No one is to defame or touch this stone or ground where my son lays unless to maintain the area or remember his life. Use any tactics you must to ensure this. Don't even allow my husband to touch it. If you fail, there won't be a second opportunity for success." With her clear instructions provided, she released the snake with a slight toss, and it landed on the ground and slithered away. During her visit to Donald's grave, she struggled to have anything significant to say to him. Emily was clearly hurt and still grieving. At the minutes of uncomfortable silence, she stood up and walked toward the car. As Emily entered the car, the cat jumped up into her lap again. This time it lingered a bit before getting into the passenger seat. Emily picked it up and held him at eye level and deeply looked into his eyes. She felt a comforting warmth flow across her. She gave the cat a hug and a peck on his cheek.